Saturday night in Milwaukee, and what a beautiful night it is. The roof is open. They are tailgating by the thousands here tonight as we get set for Game 2. It's the Houston Astros in town against your Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers are a game and a half up on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals have a big lead right now over the Chicago Cubs, so it's possible the Brewers are going to need to win to keep this lead in the National League Central. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us tonight on WMLW. The Brewers made another splash today, Rock. Doug Melvin back at it as he usually does when this club is in a pennant race. Jerry Hairston Jr. comes to the Brewers from the Washington Nationals, and it gives Ron Renicky a whole lot of versatility moving forward.
Hey, this guy can play anywhere. He's a high-energy guy, and Doug Melvin wanted to get somebody with that energy. You know, he lost Gomez, and he felt as though he needed a guy like that. Hairston first started in the big leagues in 1999. He can play anywhere. Started with the Washington Nationals, and right now, Ron Renicky has to love his team. He's got a nice, solid bench. Jerry Hairston's going to be a good guy. He can play him against left-handers in center field. That was today. That was today's move. A couple of days ago, Felipe Lopez added to the ball club. It just goes to show you it takes more than one guy to replace Ricky Weeks. So Lopez is going to get an opportunity at second base. If he hits, he'll play second and hit fifth.
And he's another guy that can play the corner infield as well. He can certainly play third. You can even put him in the outfield if you needed to. But Lopez was impressive last night in his Brewers debut of 2011. Let's talk pitching. We'll do that when we come back. Yovani Gallardo, the native Texan, on the mound against the Stros tonight. WMLW is presented by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Feltco. For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4FELTCO. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. Now, that used to be the site of County Stadium. Now it's Helfair Field, and the little kids enjoying a day as Miller Park sits beyond the right field fence. Great day here in Milwaukee today. Yovani Gallardo, the native Texan, matching up against the Astros. He's had a lot of success against Houston in his career. Jay Happ will pitch for the Houston Astros. He came to the Stros last year about this time from the Philadelphia Phillies, and he is having a very rough season on the mound for Houston. And we welcome you back from Miller Park. And Rock, let's talk about the starting pitching a little bit, because Gallardo now fits in line with the rest of these starters that have been so good lately. Randy Wolf went 7 shutout last night, and you're talking about a streak of over 2 weeks now where you're pretty much getting quality starts every time out.
No, it's been amazing to watch these guys go about their business. The reason the Brewers are in first place is because of their starting pitching. And these guys have been going deep into ball games, keeping the middle relievers in the bullpen, and being able to finish games with Rodriguez and John Axford. When you look at the numbers for these guys, it's been incredible. 17 quality starts over the last 20 games, and 14 games in a row they've allowed 3 or fewer runs. I mean, that's how you win ball games in the big leagues.
Well, Giovanni Gallardo will hope to continue the trend tonight. The Brewers are on a winning streak. They have won 4 straight. They've won 5 straight here in their home ballpark. Got a sellout tonight at Miller Park. Ready for baseball. It's coming up next on WMLW. Night. Sausages get a little nervous this time of year with the grills up. And a good night for baseball. We're set for the second game of the series. Giovanni Gallardo leading his team onto the field here at Miller Park. Giovanni has his family here tonight. His parents are here from Fort Worth. Great to have you with us on WMLW. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Michael Vetter producing tonight's game, and Michael Odino directing in the truck. Brad Mills, he is losing players left and right. He lost Hunter Pence in the middle of the game last night. Pence is in the lineup batting fifth for the Phillies tonight. And there are a lot of rumors swirling that Michael Bourne might be next. Michael Bourne, however, leads off for the Houston Astros tonight. Angel Sanchez bats second. Jason Bourgeois batting third. The middle of the order, Carlos Lee, Chris Johnson, and Matt Downs. Brett Wallace, Humberto Quintero, and Jay Happ rounded out for Houston. And there are the numbers on Giovanni Gallardo.
Yeah, Yo has been throwing the baseball well. 5 of his last 6 starts have been pretty good. He's got 1 complete game, making his 23rd start here tonight. ERA all the way down to 3.89, and where it started, that's pretty good work.
Giovanni still just 25 years of age. Seems like he has been around for a long time. And a little flare by Bourne. Nigel Morgan will watch this bounce in front. And on the first pitch, Michael Bourne saws one off for a single, and that's how this night begins for Yovani Gallardo. And Rock, how about the Lexus scouting report on Yo?
Yeah, in the early part of May, Yovani's earned run average was almost 6. He's got it down to 3.82. He's been throwing the ball very well. Important for Gallardo to establish fastball early in the count, get ahead, then go with the breaking ball. And he's been very good against the Astros. You see 8-2 in 10 starts and a 3.32 ERA against Houston.
Gallardo had a stretch from May 7th through June 4th, slightly less than a month, where he won 6 consecutive games. As you see our umpiring crew tonight, Jeff Kellogg will call the balls and strikes. Gallardo taking the loss his last time out against the Giants, beat the Diamondbacks on the last road trip for his last win, and now an 11-game winner. Seems like he is pitching to decision most of the time, Gallardo.
Yeah, lost 2-1 against the Giants. He threw 121 pitches, allowed only the 2 runs. A good outing, but nothing to show for it.
And you see his last 3 starts for Milwaukee. A couple of losses in there to the Rockies and the Giants on that last road trip. Now the Brewers are back at full strength in their bullpen tonight after a 4-0 shutout win yesterday. The Brewers getting their 10th shutout of an opponent. They've also been shut out 10 times. But the fact that Takashi Saito and Cameron Lowe finished off the game leaves Ron Renneke with his A relievers ready to go tonight in Francisco Rodriguez and Jonathan Axford.
That's what we're talking about with the fastball by Gallardo. Establish it early. Make hitters aware of the fastball, then go with the curveball to put them away. Big difference in Gallardo in April and the rest of the season. There was a few more breaking pitches early in the count in April. That's why he struggled, or one of the reasons.
Now Lucroy back behind the plate tonight. It was George Kataris last night. Leading Randy Wolf through. Awkward swing by Sanchez, that opposite field hack, and he got a piece of Lucroy.
And Jonathan says, yep, I'm awake, I'm ready to go.
Always good to get one of those in the first inning.
Get it out of the way, you know it's coming.
Like the way Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, gave him a little time. Dusted off home plate, although it looks sparkling white. Well, the biggest story with Gallardo night in, night out when he pitches is the pitch count situation. Gallardo has such great stuff. He gets into a lot of deep counts and, of course, a lot of strikeouts when he's right. His high strikeout performance this year is 10. He did that against the Cubs.
Yeah, Gallardo not a guy that's going to get a lot of outs early in the count. I mean, he throws the fastball, and when he's on, he's able to locate it pretty well. He'll get some foul balls. Yeah, Randy Wolf very similar to Gallardo, and got to keep an eye on that pitch count early in the game. You know, Wolf able to bounce back in yesterday's game. A little erratic in the strike zone early.
That one just missed, and they'll ask if he went. Yes, he does go, says Eric Cooper. Called out on a swinging strike on Gil Sanchez.
I'm not sure why it wasn't a called strike anyway. Check it out. Yeah, pretty close. Could have gone either way, but the pitch looked pretty good.
Here's how the Brewers line up defensively. It's brought to you by Menards. Braun, Morgan, and Hart in the outfield. You've got McGee, Betancourt, Lopez in fielder. Felipe Lopez making his 2nd consecutive start, and then Lucroy does the catching. And if you're wondering about Jerry Hairston Jr., he is on his way. Had to fly into Chicago, we were told, and so he is making his way to the ballpark, and they're expecting him to arrive any moment now, somewhere between 6 and 7 p.m. I was talking to Ron Renneke before the game, and he said had it been a 7 o'clock start time tonight, which it typically is during the week, Hairston might have had a chance to be in the starting lineup as the right-handed hitting version of center field in that platoon with Nyjer Morgan, with a left-hander on the mound, but just a little too close. A pop-up behind home plate. Jason Bourgeois is out number 2. Hey, Rock, I mean, you've not been at it like Jerry Hairston will tonight, but when you show up after a trade, there is a protocol and a process to being able to finally get back on the field. What's he going to go through here?
Well, he's going to have to go into the clubhouse. He's going to have to find where his locker is. Tony Miliato is probably going to meet him, as soon as he gets in there, get a uniform. Hopefully it's going to fit. Tony's the best in the business in, sizing up guys, and then he's going to get on that bench and do his hellos. So it's probably a good thing he's not jumping into that starting lineup right away. Let's settle in a little bit. And Hairston will get some starts in center field, with left-handers on the mound. I mean, he has played center. This year he made 9 starts in center field with Washington.
He's the kind of guy that will play a lot. May not play in the same position a lot, but he'll play a lot. Carlos Lee with a runner at first. Renicky having a discussion with Randy Wolf. Randy Wolf said he threw the slowest pitch of his major league career yesterday.
58 miles an hour.
That was a curveball that struck out Michael Bourne.
Right.
And apparently Randy Wolf, Zach Greinke, and Sean Markham all have this inside competition about who can throw the most effective slowest pitch. And right now Randy Wolf is your leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, Greinke in his last start I think threw in about 62 miles an hour.
But you can't give up a home run on it. That doesn't count.
No.
You get a strikeout on a 58-mile-an-hour pitch. That's going to be tough to beat. Randy Wolf threw a lot of off speed yesterday. Bourne takes off and a swing and another foul off Lucroy.
Man. And Luke looked like he was turning his head a little bit to square himself up to make a throw to second. That might have got him right on the side of the head. Here's that pitch we're talking about, the Michael Bourne. Watch how high it has to go to reach home plate at 58 miles an hour. There you go.
That is a thing of beauty. I mean, that is a softball special if you ever saw one.
The ephus.
Now Lucroy
taking a beating already.
A couple of shots off the mask. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carlos Lee. And that one is in the air. Coming in is Hart. And he's got it. And a good start for Gallardo. A scoreless first. And here we go to the bottom of the first. Corey Hart, Nyjer Morgan, Ryan Braun lead it off. Their 6th consecutive win here at Miller Park. And here is the lineup that Renicky posts tonight to try to get that done. Corey Hart, Nyjer Morgan, Ryan Braun at the top. Fielder, Lopez, and McGee in the middle with Betancourt, Lucroy, and Gallardo.
Now Jay Happ making his 21st start of the year. A terrible season for Happ so far. A 6.12 earned run average, a 4-12 record. And he's given up a whopping 16 home runs so far this year. Been a rough stretch for him.
Happ, the former Philly, he was in the Roy Oswalt trade. And the Phillies and the Astros do more bartering yesterday with Hunter Pence going to Philadelphia. Happ was the big piece in that trade for Oswalt. As a matter of fact, the Brewers were in Houston when the deal went down. Oswalt went to Philadelphia. Jay Happ came to Houston and started that night. It was on a Saturday night at Houston.
Yeah, pretty good season for Happ last year with the Astros. He made 13 starts, a 5-4 record, a 375 earned run average. But this year is really having his problems. They say it's all about command for him. Get behind in the count, and coming in and having to throw fastballs down the middle.
1-2 on Corey Hart. He fouls it away. Corey Hart comes in batting .255. 13 home runs, 33 driven in. Yesterday, Hart with a 2 RBI single in the 7th inning. It came with 2 outs. And it gave the Brewers that cushion they were looking for. Ron Renicky was trying to get through the game without having to use Francisco Rodriguez or John Axford, and he told us after the game he was not going to use John Axford. But that 2-run hit by Hart made it a 4-0 game, took it out of a save situation, and Cameron Lowe was able to finish it up nicely.
Yeah, Cameron Lowe and Takashi Saito were able to get through the ball game without having to use the big boys, so they're ready today.
2-2 on Hart as Jay Happ delivers. That one's hit well to right. That's got a chance. It is back, and it's gone. A home run for Corey Hart, and a booming start to the night for the Brew Crew. Home run number 14 for Corey Hart, and he gives the Brewers the early lead.
Boy, an opposite field home run, a pitch out away from him. It was up in his zone, and Corey able to take it with him. He hit that one well. Boy, that's the way you want to jump on a struggling starter. Get him early. Don't allow him to get his confidence going.
Yeah, good to see Hart using the opposite field, driving one into the Astros bullpen. Milwaukee doing all they can to try to cover the loss of Ricky Weeks. You'll never be able to replace the production of Weeks with one player. That player is just not available right now. Weeks, an all-star second baseman, as Morgan bounces one out to Sanchez for the out. But the fact that Weeks was in that leadoff spot hitting for power, that was covered by Hart as Ricky was moved into the 5-hole. So you're trying to put the pieces together. Felipe Lopez is certainly Weeks' equal defensively, might be even a slightly better than Ricky defensively. Certainly won't hurt you on the defensive side. And Lopez is a different kind of hitter than Ricky. He doesn't have the power, but hits for a higher batting average. Yeah, with all that, you just miss Ricky's presence and him being in the lineup every single day. And he means a lot to this club, not just what he does on the field. And he is going to be missed. He can't do that when he's on a disabled list. He can't be that team leader. Let's check out the Lexus scatter report. It's been a rough stretch for Jay Happ, an 8+ ERA in the month of July. 6 games now in a row that home run by Corey Hart with a home run. As Braun lifts one in the air, and Sanchez makes the play for out number 2. So behind Happ, you've got Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne, Jason Bourgeois. It's Johnson, Sanchez, Downs, and Wallace. Quintero does the catching. Defense brought to you by Menards. Ricky Weeks, it was stated that it would be 2 to 6 weeks. It feels like, just when you talk to those who are with Ricky Weeks, but it feels like it might be longer than the 2 weeks for sure, and it's probably more like the 6-week mark. I had a chance to talk to Roger Kaplinger today, the head athletic trainer, and he made a good point. The fact that Ricky plays second base, where there's a lot of lateral movement, it might take him a few extra days, maybe an extra week to get back, as opposed to if Weeks was an outfielder, something he could get away with, and certainly no designated hitter in the National League either. But I don't think anybody would be surprised if Weeks came back a week or 2 weeks before everybody anticipated that he was going to be back. But you're right, 2-3 weeks is just not realistic. Fielder off the end of the bat, and Michael Bourne is going to watch that one fall. Looked like he had a play on it. Carlos Lee was nowhere to be found. Yeah, Carlos no helping left. Boy, that is a A gift single for Prince Fielder. It looked like an out from the moment it left the bat.
And made no effort did Carlos Lee to make any effort to get there. He lost it in the sun. That's going to happen out there in left field of these 6 o'clock starts. Just couldn't see it, never picked it up, and he just gave up on it. And Michael Bourne, as fast as he is, still not able to get there. He lost it in the sun, so Prince Fielder able to get the base hit.
Now the sun setting beyond the first base grandstand, so it comes right through the panels above the terrace level on the first base side. And left field can be very tough this time of night.
It's been a while, but Carlos Lee played every single game out in left field for the Brewers a few years ago.
So he should know better.
Well, you would think. Be prepared, at least have the sunglasses on.
Carlos Lee played first base last night. Actually did a nice job over at first base.
Yes, he did. Made some nice plays.
Well, Felipe Lopez, switch hitter. Fans get to see him from the right side. Lopez was a Brewer in '09, and what a performance last night in his first game with Milwaukee after the trade. Had 2 hits. Carlos Lee robbed him of a 3rd hit. Lee made a diving stop at first base. Might have been a double for Lopez.
Hit over 320 his last time with the Brewers, and just a pure hitter.
Little tapper in front of the plate, and Quintero will make the play to end the inning. But Corey Hart gives the Brewers a jolt to start it. A solo home run to the opposite field, number 14 for Hart, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee. From Texas to watch their son Giovanni pitch tonight. Good to have the Gallardos here. Matter of fact, one of the best games Giovanni has ever thrown. Some great images from Houston at Minute Maid Park. Remember that a few years back when Gallardo went the distance against the Astros, and his dad was so excited he was jumping in the stands, had his jersey on. Maybe we'll have one of those moments again tonight. There's a little Giovanni Jr. Growing up fast right in front of our eyes, isn't he?
Yeah, we're getting old, aren't we?
All those Brewers kids who were just toddlers, babies running around, now they're all running around through the concourses having a great time.
Now, you know you're getting old when last night's starting pitcher for the Astros was born in my last year in the big leagues. 1990, you kidding me? 20 years old.
Yeah, that was Jordan Lyles last night, who
pitched well.
Pitched very well. Unfortunate that he did not get any support offensively or defensively from his club, but he looks like something to keep an eye on for the Astros, who obviously are trying to build for the future. They just traded away a big piece of their future in Hunter Pence. Astros are trimming payroll.
Yeah, trimming payroll, trying to build that minor league system.
There's a swing and a miss. Gallardo strikes out Chris Johnson.
Yeah, there's that curveball for Gallardo. Established fastball early in the count. And the put-away pitch, the big curveball, well located. And look at Luke, able to block it, keep it in front of him for the strikeout.
Now, Giovanni Gallardo gives a lot of credit to his father and certainly has high praise for his dad. His dad is a plumber, and they were living in Mexico, and he realized that he had a better chance in the United States. He wanted to have a different kind of life for his family, so he packed up young Giovanni when he was 3 years old. They moved to Texas, and of course Gallardo would eventually show great promise as a baseball prospect. Brewers got him in the second round. Matter of fact, he and Hunter Pence were involved in the same tryout there with the Texas Rangers in Arlington. And the Rangers passed on both of them. How about that?
Yeah.
Pence went to the Astros. Gallardo slipped to the second round to the Milwaukee Brewers out of high school. And here he is, a well-established big leaguer at this point at the tender age of 25.
Well, the Brewers very happy that the Rangers passed on him. And you see Yo let that one get away a little bit, tried to elevate the fastball.
One ball, two strikes on Matt Downs. Fouls it away.
Yo's got good velocity tonight. 93, 94 with a fastball. It looks like that curveball that he threw to Johnson looked like a good one. A good sharp break to it.
Just got a piece. We saw Downs last night. He pinch hit in last night's game. Matter of fact, he was a strikeout victim. It was in Randy Wolf's last inning. Astros trying to piece it all together. They have to be swirling in their clubhouse, wondering where this organization is headed.
Wondering who's next, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Could be another one tonight.
Michael Bourne's name continues to surface. Brad Mills, been a long season for the second-year skipper. We are told that Jerry Hairston Jr. is in the ballpark, so that'll give Ron Renicky another weapon on that bench at some point tonight. It's a little bit risky. I think the Brewers felt comfortable putting Hairston on the active roster, but still, you don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen between Washington, D.C. and Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Right, particularly the traffic going from Chicago to Milwaukee. You never know. The traffic getting into the ballpark tonight. That was quite the experience.
Yeah, I appreciate the heads-up call. That was good scouting on your part. You saved me a half an hour. That ball is hit pretty well to right. Corey Hart will ease under it for out number 2.
Hey fans, it's the 10th anniversary of Miller Park, so come out to see what's new to love about the place your Brewers call home as they take on the St. Louis Cardinals Monday through Wednesday. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Well, I'm glad you made it in tonight. Did you find an alternate route?
I did.
Into the ballpark?
You remember that your first year or second year?
Yeah,
that,
I do. Unfortunately.
That quick left that I took into the VA exit. I did that today. Saved me.
Did you drop a, "Hi, I'm Bill Schroeder. You mind if I cut?"
That would not have worked. There were some angry folks trying to get into that ballpark. I just kept my head down.
You could have used a hat like that. That would have got you right in.
Hey, good to see Miller Park busting at the seams with folks and people wanting to come to see their Brewers.
Early tailgating was
right. And that was about 3 o'clock today.
Right.
3 hours before the game, and a lot of people wanted to come in.
What a venue it is, man. Such a great place to watch a game, especially on a night like this when you can open up the roof. Clear skies up above. 2-1 pitch on Wallace out in front. 2-2 the count. Well, Brett Wallace also acquired by the Astros in a trade last year. He was part of that Berkman deal with the 3-team trade. The Blue Jays were involved and the New York Yankees. So Happ and Wallace both showed up in Houston at the same time. Wallace was supposed to be a guy that would hit in the middle of their order and play first base every day. And here we are on the 30th of July. Wallace is hitting 7th and has been in a bit of a platoon with Carlos Lee. Wallace did not play last night. The Brewers had left-hander Randy Wolf on the mound.
And you would think, well, the changes that the Astros have made, the trades, that Wallace would be a little bit higher in that batting order, but not the case. Astros have two guys that they would like to play at first base every day. Unfortunately, you can't do that. Carlos Lee, and not much help to you in left field. And as we saw last night, not a bad first baseman.
Full count to Brett Wallace with 2 away, and that one is lifted high in the air to right, playable for Hart. And Gallardo is through the second. 1, 2, 3. 2 scoreless in the books for Giovanni. Casey McGee will lead off when we come back. MLW is presented by Usingers. Usingers in baseball. It's just not summer without them. And by Steinhoffels, Wisconsin's #1 furniture and mattress store since 1934. You know what that is? That is a Rockhead. He's got the Rockhead working. If you'll take a turn, you'll see Rock's picture up there. Having a lot of fun at the ballpark. And there is the newest Brewer wearing number 15, Jerry Hairston Jr. introducing himself. Hi, I'm Jerry. I'll be your teammate the rest of the year. So good to have you, Jerry Hairston. Welcome to Milwaukee.
That's a great pickup. His first year in the big leagues, 1999. He's 35 years old. He's been around. He's seen just about everything that he can see in the game. And just another piece to the puzzle for Ron Renicky. A lot of flexibility on that bench.
Well, Doug Melvin was telling us earlier today one of the reasons he wanted to go ahead and push this deal through, and the Brewers traded their minor league player of the year last year, Eric Komatsu, to the Nationals for Hairston, is because Jerry brings a lot of energy. He is very much like a Carlos Gomez type player, and without Gomez, that's an element that the Brewers have been missing. And I'm not sure it shows up for the fans on the field as much as it does around the clubhouse and in the dugout. But Hairston certainly brings that element to the ballpark as well. And by the way, we saw Carlos Gomez today. He was at the ballpark. He's got a new do working, and so far so good with that fractured clavicle.
Yeah, he didn't even have the sling on when he was around the batting cage. Everybody kind of surprised to see him, and said he has a little bit of range of motion in that shoulder. It's good news. Had a smile on his face. Boy, he was in pain there for a while. That's a tough injury.
Yeah, before the game, Carlos Gomez, and this is what we're talking about, the kind of energy that he brings, even with a sling. He's got everybody smiling down there, and
not to say that Nigel Morgan doesn't bring energy to the team.
You just need a couple of guys, right?
More than one, right?
Well, there's Gomez, and he got a haircut and hoping for a fast healing. All reports are very good on Gomez in the shoulder. They put some plates on that fractured clavicle, screwed it down, a titanium plate, and that's going to hold that collarbone together. And there is a very good chance that Gomez could return in plenty of time before the regular season ends, and hopefully the Brewers are on their way to the postseason.
Well, Doug Melvin's certainly doing his part, to put the pieces together and give Ron Renicky, the guys that can get him to the postseason. That's for sure.
Betancourt cuts through, and down he goes on strikes as Jay Happ with back-to-back strikeouts here in the second inning. Well, America's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, is coming to WMLW this fall, 6 nights a week. Watch Sheldon, Leonard, Penny, and the rest of the Big Bang gang starting September 19th at 6 p.m. on WMLW. 2 gone for Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy hitting .278 to begin the day. 7 home runs, 39 driven in. Nigel Morgan and Jerry Hairston were teammates with the Nationals this spring before Morgan was traded. That was nice of Uni B. He strikes out, he goes over and introduces himself.
Yeah, Jerry Hairston can play anybody's position in that dugout, except maybe Lucroy. You can use him anywhere. He played just about everywhere for the Nationals this year. Split about half his time in the outfield, half of his time in the infield. That's how valuable a player he is.
And Nigel Morgan is filling him in on being a Milwaukee Brewer. Morgan loves Milwaukee. He has enjoyed his time here, raves about playing for the city. And it's a small thing, but it's an important thing that Morgan is doing there with Jerry Hairston. Just each guy trying to spend a little time with the newcomer, try to make him feel welcome.
You first go to the guys that and the guys you've played with and maybe knew from back home, and trying to get a sense of what's going on in the clubhouse and what the mentality of this club is. If you remember when Nigel Morgan first came over to the Brewers in spring training, and maybe the first a couple of weeks of the season, he was rather quiet. He's kind of laid back, trying to get a sense of what's going on, what his place was, but it certainly didn't take him long to become Nigel Morgan. But you did just come in and start shaking things up. You got to get a lay of the land first when you get traded.
Full count to Lucroy with 2 away. And he hangs in there. Well, Happ has a good fastball tonight in the low 90s.
It's fairly straight fastball for Happ, but we talked about it on our Lexus scatter report. The fact that he throws all 4 pitches, he's got a good changeup, but sometimes he doesn't have a good one early in the game and he'll give up on it. Curveball, slider, and a fastball for Jay Happ. But you got to be patient with this guy. He will walk you. Giving up 60 walks in 110 in the 3rd innings this year to go along with 92 punchouts. talking to the folks around the Astros, that's been his biggest problem. All of a sudden he'll be cruising along, all of a sudden loses location, start to get wild. He'll walk a guy, then give up a home run. Home runs have been an issue for him all year.
Happ pitched in the postseason for the Phillies in 08. I beg your pardon, 09. Has that playoff experience. 35 games with Philadelphia in 09, and he went 12-4 that year. The 16 games last year, split time between the Phillies and the Astros, and he had some injuries last year that set him back at the beginning of the year with Philadelphia. But it was that 12-4 record and the 2.93 ERA. One of the main reasons the Astros wanted him in return, as Happ hits the inside corner, and Lucroy takes a double take on Jeff Kellogg. Inning over, Happ strikes out the side.
Nothing Brewers, top of the third. Hey ladies, go behind the scenes on August 27th at Brewers All Access for Women, presented by Associated Bank. Learn more about this exclusive opportunity at brewers.com/access.
1-0 Brewers on a Corey Hart home run in the first, and we head to the third inning now. Giovanni Gallardo will face Humberto Quintero to start it. The pitcher Happ next, and then back to the top of the order. And a lot of trades are rolling in. A lot of rumors about trades are rolling in. Trade deadline ends tomorrow. 3 o'clock Central, I believe, is the time for all the trades to be done. Texas Rangers made a deal for Koji Uehara of the Baltimore Orioles. Been a lot of talk about Texas making a push for Heath Bell, and apparently they have settled for Uehara, which leaves speculation available for Heath Bell to the St. Louis Cardinals. It was rumored that the Cardinals and the Rangers were the two front runners for the Padres closer. As Quintero lifts one in the air, Lopez will make the catch. One gone.
It's about as active as things have been at the trading deadline in a couple of years. A lot of teams getting involved, and we got the countdown to the trade deadline. How about that?
Doug Melvin certainly busy, always ready to make a move, take a phone call. I'm sure his wife Helen understands this time of year. It's kind of like an accountant,
right?
You know, in like April 14th.
Of course, what is the downtime for a general manager?
That's a good point.
Do they have any?
Probably opening day. First week of the season, he's done all he can do.
Right.
Kind of like what Doug Melvin has done with his club. And it's not just the trades he has made during the season. You know, I think everybody, because of the news cycle, and you're talking about trades, and he certainly made a big trade acquiring Francisco Rodriguez. Oh, look at Lopez with the soft hands making the play for the out. And J. Happ is retired. Nicely done, Felipe Lopez.
Yeah, J. Happ hit that one nicely. Yeah, the pitcher able to center on a Gallardo fastball. One hop. Watch how soft the hands are for Lopez. He plays it beautifully off to the side and gets the out. There you go. Spread those fingers out on that glove and get as much leather extended as you can.
So 2 men are out. And there is a ball to Michael Bourne. So you think about the Brewers season and the key pieces to this team, the trade for Zach Greinke, the trade for Sean Markham. Picked up a huge piece in Francisco Rodriguez. And now Jerry Hairston coming over.
Yeah, where would the Brewers be without Nyjer Morgan right at the end of spring training? You forget about that deal. Takashi Saito, I think Saito is going to be a big impact pitcher out of that bullpen before it's all said and done. This team looks a lot different than it did first day of spring training, that's for sure.
And starting to put the pieces together. Ron Renicky has been preaching that from day one. We're going to find out. We're going to test our parameters, see who we are, stay in a pennant race, and then when we get to the second half, post All-Star break, you start to line up those pieces, and hopefully everybody can peak at the same time. That's one of the reasons why the Angels have been so successful, that same philosophy. And Renicky, of course, has been a part of that organization for the last 11 years. And he brings it to Milwaukee. There's a strike called. Gallardo punches out Michael Bourne. And his third strikeout. Gallardo is retired 9 straight. Lead on a Corey Hart home run that came in the first inning. First batter for the Brewers offensively today, as Giovanni Gallardo will lead off the third inning. J. Happ struck out the side in the second. Gallardo rips one down the right field line. That's going to get down. It'll go to the wall. Giovanni on his way to second, and he'll settle for the double. A leadoff double for Giovanni Gallardo.
Now coming in at 239 for a batting average, and boy, he smoked that one to right field. Look at Gallardo. That guy knows how to hit. He slices that one right down the right field line. Hit that one hard. A leadoff double.
And his family loves it. I'm going to watch Giovanni pitch, but you know Pops loves to see him swing the bat as well. It's the third double of the year for Gallardo. And now Corey Hart trying to drive him in. Corey Hart hit his second leadoff home run of the season since being inserted back into that spot. Remember the flip-flop in the lineup with Ricky Weeks moving down into the 5-hole and Hart into the leadoff spot. That was in Colorado, the third game, prior to the third game of that 11-game road trip.
I guess the jury's still out as to the effectiveness of that flip-flop in the lineup, but now that Ricky's not going to be able to play, Rennick's going to have to decide who that guy in the 5th spot's going to be. But Brewers have been winning, and it's because of their pitching, particularly their starting pitching. We talked about that at the top of the broadcast. Scoring just enough to win. That's all it takes.
You know what's amazing about this run for the Brewers is you take a look at the Corey Hart home run in the first inning. That gave the Brewers the lead and the only run on the board so far. As Hart into left field, a base hit. Gallardo got a late start and he'll hold there. So a single for Corey Hart. He's 2 for 2 against Happ. And it's first and third with Nyjer Morgan coming up.
Yeah, Corey's seeing the baseball pretty good against Jay Happ. Yep, Gallardo had to make sure that ball was going to get through. He didn't want to get caught going to third base had Sanchez been able to field it. There's that cut fastball from Jay Happ, stayed up in the zone, and Corey able to rip it in the left.
Well, good start to the third inning as Gallardo doubles, Hart singles, and now it's Morgan. Nyjer always a threat to bunt, even in a spot like this. And Morgan takes one inside.
Man, even more inclined to do it with a left-handed pitcher out there and a man at third base. A bit of an inexperienced base runner at third, though. Not sure if he's going to do it.
Morgan with 2 hits yesterday and a .325 batting average to start play today. Morgan, a bouncer, foul. And it's a ball and a strike on Nyjer Morgan. And Braun looming large on deck. Morgan should see a pretty good pitch to handle. The splits for Morgan much better against left-handed pitchers this year than throughout his career. Got a chance to drive in a run. Slaps one foul, 1-2 the count on Nyjer.
Yeah, Nyjer loves just to slap that ball on the left on a pitch away from. That's why Happ is trying to stay on his hands. Nyjer not able to get anything, just to flip out the left field. Likes to do that against lefties.
And Morgan fights another one off. Well, you feel like it's a big moment in this game early for a lot of reasons, not just because of the scoreboard implications, but the fact that the Astros are a down ball club right now. They have taken it in the standings on the record. They lost their best player yesterday, and you'd like to be able to jump on them quickly and put up a crooked number. 1-2 the count on Morgan, first and third, and Happ will take a look at Hart. It seems like on paper Morgan is a more suitable leadoff hitter than Corey Hart, but Renicky likes the power threat in that top spot in the batting order. As Morgan pulls one through the hole, a base hit. Gallardo will score, and a 2-strike RBI single for Nyjer Morgan. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, Jay Happ did him a favor. He threw something off speed. Morgan behind the fastball, that whole at bat, staying in on his hands. He sped his bat up a little bit by giving him a slider and leaving it out over the plate. Check it out. I mean, you're almost doing Nyjer a favor doing that. But Morgan able to take advantage of it and bang it into right field. Still nobody out.
Ed Cedar barking at Gallardo to take off on contact, and he scores easily on the base hit. A run is in. 3 consecutive hits to start the inning, and now Braun is up with 2 on. Ryan Braun, second in the league in hitting to start the day, batting .324. Jose Reyes is the National League leader in batting average. Reyes batting .343 to begin play today. Braun and Fielder, their names dotted all through the major offensive categories in the National League. Braun is in the top 6 in the 3 Triple Crown categories. He is second in average, tied for 6th in home runs, and he's 4th in the league in RBIs with 71.
And has really picked up his numbers against left-handed batters or left-handed pitchers.
It's a good stat there, Braun, compared to last season. If you go by the pace numbers, way ahead of his pace from a year ago. And believe it or not, even though Braun had a good season, he felt like he had a down season last season.
Remember, Ryan seemed to have some problems. I mean, it's all relative. When you talk about Ryan having problems, I mean, it's not problems for most, but the kind of hitter Ryan Braun is, I mean, he hit better on the road than he did at Miller Park. You can see he's really lifted that batting average against left-handed pitching. That was down in the 280s.
Braun swings and misses. Happ with a good pitch. Got him with a changeup, and down goes Ryan Braun for the first out. Well, you've dreamed it. Now you can go for it. January 29th through February 5th. This season's Brewers Fantasy Camp at Maryville Park in Phoenix, Arizona. Everything you can imagine and more. You get authentic Brewers uniform, batting practice jersey, instruction, coaching from Brewers legend, professional clubhouse staff, and of course athletic trainers. For more information, go to brewers.com/fantasy camp. Always a great fantasy camp, run by Bill Schroeder, The Rock.
Yep, anybody 30 and over, men and women. Eddie Cedar, you could too be at third base and have Eddie Cedar tell you to score.
He could be screaming out at you to go. And then you say, but then you get thrown out and you say, you said go. He goes, no, I said no. Eddie Cedar is
one of the all-time favorites amongst fantasy campers.
By far the entertainment coordinator. 2 on for Prince. On the ground, a chance for 2 here. It's bobbled by Downs, and everybody's safe. Astros had a double play right in their hands as Downs booted it. It'll be an error, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Man, one of the many problems that the Astros have had this year. You know, their defense has not been very good, amongst the worst in the National League. They and the Cubs. And you turn a double play into bases loaded. And Felipe Lopez coming up with 1 out. The 81st double or error by the Astros this year.
So Lopez will hit with the bases full. A run is in, and a chance to do big damage. Looking for his first RBI as a Brewer. Lopez has always been a good hitter with the bases loaded. Great career numbers. .356 batting average. 5 career grand slams. He was hitting down in AAA Durham in the Rays organization, and I'm sure he did not want to be in AAA, but for the Brewers perspective, the fact that he was playing every day, playing second every day, hitting third in that lineup in AAA, he shows up to Milwaukee fresh. He's seen a lot of pitches. You know, they had him in a platoon role with the Rays earlier this year. Played a lot of third base with Evan Longoria on the disabled list, and then once Longoria came back, Lopez had a tough time finding the field.
And it didn't cost the Brewers a player. Cash considerations. A good gamble to take, Felipe Lopez.
Numbers on Happ with the bases loaded. Ball and 2 strikes. The 2 newest Brewers. Jerry Hairston Jr. watching Felipe Lopez, traded in consecutive days to Milwaukee. And a swing and a miss. Happ strikes out Lopez with the bases loaded. Out number 2, a big strikeout for Jay Happ.
He got him on a curveball. Good pitch. That's a slider. That's that back foot slider that stayed in the middle part of the plate, but down in the dirt. He's got strikeout stuff tonight, does Jay Happ, number 5.
And it'll be up to Casey McGee to try to pick up Lopez. Bases loaded now, 2 outs. Casey had a good night last night. On base 3 times. He was 2 for 3 at the plate. Had an RBI. He doubled last night.
And the double was in the right center. Good to see for Casey.
2 hits and a walk for McGee. His RBI hit was an infield hit. Well, just hoping McGee can dig it out of the dirt, find that stroke from last year. He led the Brewers in RBIs a season ago with 104. Casey was saying he felt like he has been close on a number of occasions and then has slipped back into some bad habits. He and Dale Swaim working a great deal together trying to iron it all out. But I think really what it comes down to is pitch selection for McGee. Getting ahead of the count, getting the right kind of pitches to hit.
And he has had some pitches to hit. Make no mistake about that, like that right there. I think, you know, that pitch last year would have been rattled off that wall somewhere. It was a high breaking pitch. And that high pitch was his bread and butter a year ago.
1 ball, 1 strike. The Brewers could use a big hit. They're up 2-0 and a chance to open it up a little bit. 2-1. Casey with 42 RBIs after his RBI last night. Has 5 home runs. The red hot Betancourt hoping for a chance to swing the bat in this inning. Two and 2 the count on McGee. And when you're struggling, it always seems like you're in a 2-strike count, even when it's self-inflicted.
Yep, your first step out of that on deck circle, you got 2 strikes on you. Sometimes that's the way it feels.
See what Happ has in mind. 2 and 2. And McGee steps out.
Hey, same pitch Lopez was a slider down.
Bases loaded, 2 away in the 3rd inning. And McGee rips one to center, but it is right at Michael Bourne. Boy, tough luck for McGee. Lines out with the bases loaded. Brewers get just 1. We head to the 4th.
Tonight, top of the fourth, and Corey Hart got things going early with a home run to lead it off, giving the Brewers a 1-0 lead. It would be 2-0 on a Nyjer Morgan two-strike base hit to right after a Gallardo double to lead it off. Yo has been terrific here tonight. He's retired 9 straight. Got good command of his fastball. The curveball's been the strikeout pitch for him. So far so good here at Miller Park for the Brew Crew.
And Gallardo starts it with a strike on Angel Sanchez. 2-0 Brewers. Gallardo gave off that leadoff single to Michael Bourne, a little flare into left center. He's been very efficient since. Angel Sanchez getting the start at shortstop tonight. He was at third base last night and looked a little out of position at third base last night. If there was ever a definition of an inside out stroke, a contact hitter opposite field swing, it is Sanchez.
Did you know where you normally pitch a guy that tries to go inside out, leads with the knob of the bat, is away? Guys will tell you, guys that hit like that, toughest ball to hit the right is to pitch away from him. That pitch in is his bread and butter. That's what he wants you to do. It's kind of interesting that Clint Barmas not getting a start here tonight. I mean, that guy's an infield vacuum cleaner. That guy can pick it at short.
And there's a base hit to right. So Sanchez delivers a single to start the fourth inning. The second hit for the Astros. Clint Barmas' name is another name that has surfaced in the trade rumors. Well, look at that back foot get out of there.
Yeah. Going to right field the whole way. A slider up in the zone, and he's able to hit it hard, just poke it into right. These kind of guys are tough to strike out, but Yo got him his first time up.
Jason Bourgeois hitting third in this Astros batting order. Been a hot hitter. Bourgeois hitting .367 now after his pop-up in the first. Former Brewer.
Yeah, not much speed on the bases for the Astros. Bourgeois and Michael Bourne, that's just about it. Nobody else really runs a whole lot. Bourne with 2 stolen bases last night. Or I should say Bourgeois with 2 stolen bases last night.
Reports coming out of St. Louis that the Cardinals are closing in on a deal for Rafael Furcal of the Dodgers. Furcal has been out with a thumb injury. Bourgeois lifts one center field. Nyjer Morgan is there. There is out number 1. Today Ryan Theriot played second base for St. Louis and had 4 hits. Cardinals have already won today. They beat the Cubs after trailing 5-0. Cardinals came storming back. 13 unanswered runs. An 8-run fifth, was it? Yep. Controversial play in that game as well.
Man.
Mike Quaddy was ejected.
And Matt Holliday with a questionable slide at second base that could very well have ended the inning. But what happened after that play? I mean, things kind of unraveled. You can't blame that play solely for that 8-run outburst.
We're certainly keeping a close eye on the St. Louis Cardinals right now. The Cardinals are 1 game back of the Brewers, having already won today. Brewers need a win to stay a game and a half up. St. Louis is in heavy talks, it seems, if you follow the reports, Talking about a trade with the Padres for Heath Bell. They are one of the favorites to land Heath Bell, and of course Rafael Furcal's name is on the board as well. Washington also traded Jason Marquis today to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So not only did they trade Hairston, but Jason Marquis.
That'll improve that rotation for the Diamondbacks. Those guys have been pretty good anyway. Marquis having a nice season for Washington.
Boston Red Sox made a deal. We got Mike Aviles from the Kansas City Royals. Traded some prospects and a fringe major leaguer in Yamaiko Navarro. So Mike Aviles going to the Red Sox. These are all coming in the last few moments. It's going to be that way. Trade deadline tomorrow. Fun time of year, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's nerve-wracking for general managers and clubs, and you're looking at who you're going to have available, but it's great for fans. I think it's a great opportunity, Rock, for teams that aren't in contention to rebuild and quickly get something to look forward to by way of prospects.
Yeah, that's what the Astros are hoping for.
As Lee swings and misses, down he goes. Gallardo strikes out his fourth. 2 outs in the inning.
And on Sunday, August 14th, against the Pirates, all fans in attendance get a Craig Counsell bobblehead. That's courtesy of Red Prairie. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com for tickets. Counselor with a bobblehead.
Or as Ken Maka used to call him, Conts.
First Ken Maka reference this year.
Whenever I'm ready to make a move, Conts is right behind me, ready to go.
We forgot the ending. Okay.
Okay. Ken Maka enjoying a golf course somewhere in Pennsylvania, I'm sure, on a daily basis.
Yep.
Two balls, no strikes on Chris Johnson. Gallardo with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Detroit Tigers made a trade today. They acquired Doug Fister from the Mariners, bolstering their starting rotation. It's a nice move. Talk about a tough luck pitcher. Doug Fister with the Seattle Mariners. 11 losses and an ERA in the low 3s.
Yeah, hang with them. Goodness.
Two balls and a strike. 2 outs. Gallardo trying to get through the 4th. Got a man on and a cut and a miss.
Astros having a tough time with that Gallardo fastball. You know, Carlos Lee's had a tough time with it. Now Johnson was ahead to count 2-0, and Yo got 2 fastballs by him in a fastball count.
Curveball lifted in the air, and it's Felipe Lopez who wants it. Gallardo is through 4 more shutout innings against the Astros. 2-0 Crew. Worse, Jay Happ has managed to pitch out of a couple of jams. Happ struck out the side in the second inning after giving up a leadoff home run to Hart. And then Rocky got out of a bases loaded 1-out situation last inning in the third.
And both on curveballs. You got Ryan Braun on a curveball and Lopez actually on a slider. He's had good stuff tonight. He just has not had a whole lot of run support. I guess a lot of the Astros starters could say that.
Yuniesky Betancourt leads off. Well, Happ retired Ryan Braun with 2 on. He struck him out in that third inning. Happ with 5 Ks. Well, if you're a starting pitcher right now for the Houston Astros, you know you are walking a very thin line.
Yeah, margin for error, not much. You give up a couple of early runs, it could cost you the game. Especially here in Milwaukee, the way this Brewers starting rotation has been throwing the baseball. 14 games in a row allowing 3 runs or less. ERA in the low 2s for the Brewers starting rotation the last 2 weeks. These guys have been unbelievable. Good pitch down in the zone by Jay Happ.
Well, Gallardo impressive after giving up a leadoff single in the top of this frame, giving up just 2 hits, both singles. Gallardo with 4 strikeouts. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Betancourt, and that one misses low. 3-2. Betancourt very tough to strike out. Statistically, he is among league leaders in hardest to fan. Strikes out about every 10.5 at bats, which at this point, starting play today, good enough for 7th in the league. Jose Reyes is the league leader. He strikes out every 15 plate appearances. Betancourt 10.5 plate appearances per strikeout. But it's tough to strike out when you're hacking early, right, Rock?
He's not hacking as early as he was. He's been a little bit more patient lately, and that's one of the reasons why his batting average has gone up. A little bit more selective. His mechanics are much more sound, and coming into that at bat at .254 batting average.
June 20th is Betancourt's date. That's the demarcation line. Raised his average over 30 points. Jonathan Lucroy today off the mask just to get him warmed up.
Another day at the office, that's all. Just to wake you up.
Lucroy was called out on an inside corner fastball in the second inning. That was the inning Happ struck out the side.
And really the only inside fastball that's been called a strike tonight. And you do it to a catcher. Are you kidding me?
As Lucroy singles into right center, a base hit for Jonathan Lucroy. I mean, of all people, ring up a shortstop or a left fielder, not a catcher.
Yeah, who took those foul tips? Me or the umpire, right?
Exactly. Great point, Rob.
Show me some love. Well, he left one out over the plate that time, and Luke able to dump it into center. Didn't hit it hard, but able to get his base hit.
And that'll get Gallardo to the plate with a man on. Gallardo doubled and scored in the third inning. Corey Hart had a home run in the first. Gallardo scored the second run for the Brewers, and he's up there to bunt. Takes a ball. Gallardo homered against the Astros earlier this season, back in April. His lone home run of the year. After that double, Gallardo is hitting .255. And he is hitting .333 here at Miller Park. So he's a lot like the rest of the position players.
And Eddie Cedar is flashing signs. Gallardo's stepping out. They might have something on here.
Gallardo looking down, saying, "Don't give me bunt. Don't give me bunt. Don't give me bunt." And he gets to swing away, and he fouls it back.
Had a good hack too. And Jay Happ has used that inside corner pretty well tonight. The mistakes that he's made and the base hits have been all out over the plate. Fastballs, sliders away. And when he comes in there, he's been pretty effective.
And that one is on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gallardo. Staying inside on Gallardo. Great threat to have at the bottom of the order. Gallardo, one of the best hitting pitchers in the game. Certainly the best hitting pitcher in franchise history. Inside, he missed. He brings that power threat. His lone home run of the year came here at Miller Park against Houston. Gallardo homered off Nelson Figueroa on the 22nd. Got the win that day in 6 innings against the Astros. Serves out into left. Carlos Lee got a long way to go, and he'll make the catch. Carlos Lee runs it down for the out. Out number 2.
Had a long way to go for Carlos, but able to make a catch, a sliding catch, just before it hits the ground. Look out, Angel Sanchez. You don't want to be anywhere near that pile out there. You know who's going to win that battle.
El Caballo looking more like a Clydesdale coming after that ball. There's a strike to Hart. So Hart will try to get Lucroy on the move at first. Homered back in the first inning. Opposite field smash. Brewers shut out the Astros yesterday. Randy Wolf, Takashi Saito, and Cameron Lowe combining for the shutout. Start taking for granted all the zeros on the board. 2-0 can feel much larger than that when you're pitching so well. And the Brewers are certainly having great success on the mound right now.
And a team that has not been scoring a lot of runs, but you never know. They can get hot. I think more importantly, I think Ron Rennick would like to see his offense be a little bit more consistent.
That is off the glove of Johnson. A base hit. Corey Hart rips one towards third. Johnson made a play on it, but it popped out of his glove.
You would think that's going to be a base hit, but certainly a ball that Johnson's got to catch. I mean, good defensive teams are going to make that play. Corey looking in on that fastball off the glove and into left field for another base hit for Corey. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, good day today at the top of the order. So a home run and 2 singles for Hart. That gives Nigel Morgan an at-bat. Morgan had a base hit and an RBI in the 3rd inning. That one is lifted in the air, shallow center. And Michael Bourne will make the catch. The Brewers strand 2 more. Come up empty in the 4th.
start of Yovani Gallardo, scoreless through 4 after giving up a leadoff single to Michael Bourne. He retired 9 straight before Angel Sanchez got a base hit to right. The Astros have not had a man at second base so far. And Gallardo has had good command of his fastball. He's thrown a lot of them, and his curveball has been his strikeout pitch.
Another low scoring affair for Brewers pitching so far. And Gallardo hoping to keep that trend alive.
The Brewers pitching staff has put together 12 consecutive games allowing 4 runs or less. And the starters are on even a better stretch, 3 runs or less in 14 straight. But what we were talking about before that Corey Hart base hit, I think Ron Renicky, although he's happy he's getting wins under his belt, he'd like to see that consistency in the offense. He'd like to put up some big crooked numbers from time to time. Get some runs on the board. Get everybody hitting all at the same time. Brewers have not done that in a while.
Yeah, great pitching can certainly go a long ways, make you feel like you're playing well, which the Brewers are, but there has been some deficiencies offensively, as Eric Cooper says that Matt Downs able to check his swing. The Brewers are 5-2 in their last 7, so they've won 5 of their last 7. And the most runs that they have scored in a game is 4. That has happened on 3 occasions. Meanwhile, the Brewer pitching staff has given up fewer than 4 runs in those 12 consecutive that Rock mentioned. And that includes a couple of shutouts. Downs lifts one in the air to right. Corey Hart, long way to go toward the wall. He's got it in foul territory. 1 gone for Gallardo in the 5th. Subway trivia: who holds the major league record for the longest consecutive save streak? I'll give you a hint. He's a former Brewer.
Yeah, I know that one.
John Axford sitting on a consecutive save streak right now. Axford saved his 30th in the final game of the series with the Chicago Cubs and has now converted 27 consecutive save chances, which is a franchise record. And we might see the Axeman tonight.
That'd be nice to give him another night off, though. And drop a snowman on the Astros and see Rodriguez and Axford get another day off. That's 8 runs, if you didn't know.
You've become very familiar with the snowman. In multiple sports.
Not last time out. Good round last time.
I heard
out.
Everybody's been talking about it.
Yeah, did not lose a golf ball. That's a rarity.
That's even par.
Same ball. Wow.
Rock judges his score by how many golf balls he loses.
Usually my bag is a lot lighter on the back 9 than it is on the front 9.
He starts with at least 100.
It was heavy the whole round.
You were kind of counting on losing some of that weight.
Oh, I do. Won a hole easy.
Full count for Gallardo on Brett Wallace. Hanging in there tough. Brewers homestand continues Monday against the Cardinals. It's a 9-game homestand in all. The Brewers trying to win for the 5th time on this homestand. Swept the Cubs. They won last night. A win tonight, the Brewers go back to 10 games over 500. There's a swing and a miss. Gallardo with a big fastball strikes out Wallace. Strikeout number 5 for Yovani Gallardo.
And throwing fastballs and fastball counts, and the Astros coming up empty. Strikeout by Wallace on a high heater. Yo's not trying to trick anybody tonight.
Four strikeout swinging. He had 1 called strike 3 on Michael Bourne, and he gets ahead of Humberto Quintero. Two gone in the 5th inning. 2-0 Brewers. A home run from Corey Hart, an RBI single from Nyjer Morgan. Part of a sellout crowd here tonight. A lot of color in the crowd tonight. Looks got some folks in some costumes working. Got the hats working.
Miller Park has been busy today. Started early in the morning with the 5K run, the walk run that the famous sausages have made famous here in Milwaukee. 3,000 run walkers here today. That's a good time.
Now, I know you kick-started the event. Did you participate in the event?
I did not. I had to prepare for the
closing ceremonies.
The award ceremonies. I know Telly Hughes ran today.
Oh, is that right?
I saw Telly, yeah.
There's a bouncer out to Betancourt. And Gallardo is through 5. 5 shutout innings for Yo. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Braun will lead off. Classic sitcoms are on MeTV. Shows like MASH, Cheers, and The Dick Van Dyke Show. MeTV now playing in Milwaukee on Digital 49.1. Good ball game tonight. Well pitched, 2-0. The Brewers lead the Astros as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And a bachelorette party is here. Speaking of colorful characters. Good memories, those that you can keep.
Yeah.
No better place to do it than right here at Miller Park. Here comes Ryan Braun to start it for Milwaukee. Braun, fielder, and Felipe Lopez due up. The headliners to start this inning for Milwaukee. And tip your hat to Jay Happ. He has been all kinds of trouble, but has managed to pitch out of it. The Brewers have left 6 men on base through the first 4 innings. And a broken bat bouncer over to Sanchez, who bobbles and is going to make another error. Sanchez has had a rough series defensively. Braun reaches. And we'll see if the Brewers can take advantage of an error this time around.
Well, he just said no help for Jay Happ. I have to say, the 2 errors have really not cost him a whole lot, but plays that should have been made that have not been made. We saw one last night at third base. We saw one at third base tonight. 82 errors by the Astros. Only the Cubs worse defensively.
Fielder into right center. That's going to get down. Braun on his way to third. And he'll make it without a throw. Prince Fielder with his second hit hits a rocket to right center. And it's first and third with nobody out in the fifth inning.
That Prince with the tomahawk out that time, getting on top of that pitch and smoking it into center field. There it is, the high slider. It was up, it was flat, and Prince hit it hard into right center field. Bronny able to get to third base. Yeah, good start to the fifth.
And Felipe Lopez, who was up with the bases loaded and one out in the third inning, he struck out. Another chance to drive in some runs. Well, that curveball has been tough on Lopez. That's the pitch that Happ struck him out on in the third inning.
Started him out with a curveball this time, and Lopez with a very defensive swing.
And Happ puts a fastball by him. So it's 0-2. Lopez quickly in a hole with a runner at third. It doesn't take much to get Braun home, even though he's not running at 100%. Still has that gear he can kick it into if need be.
And middle infielders are back, conceding the run, trying to turn two.
And Lopez able to lay off that curveball in the dirt. Gallardo hoping for some runs. Brewers have 2 runs on 8 hits. And down goes Lopez. Happ surprised him with a fastball. There's something about that 5-hole this year that has been a nemesis spot in the batting order as Happ hits the bottom of the strike zone when he's first out.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the strike zone. I'll tell you what, that was marginal at best. Lopez thought it was low, but a little bit too close to take with 2 strikes and a man to third base.
Well, when Happ has needed an out, he has gotten it for the most part tonight. Now 1 gone, first and third for McGee. Casey down the right field line, long run, Bourgeois, and he's got it, and Braun will tag and score. Boy, what a play by Bourgeois. The Brewers got a run, but if not for a tremendous catch by Jason Bourgeois, Prince had a chance to maybe score from first.
Well, what does Casey McGee have to do to get a base hit in this game? My goodness. He smokes a ball to center his last time up with the bases loaded right at Michael Bourne, and a great catch by Bourgeois down the right field line. That ball was slicing away from him, and he just kept charging at it and making the catch in the webbing. Yeah, but it turns out to be an RBI and a sac fly for Casey.
And now Betancourt with 2 away. 3-0 Brewers.
Unearned run.
Yeah, remember the error that started the inning on Braun. Betancourt is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a 6-3 ground out in the 4th inning. Braun reaching on an error to start the inning. Scores on McGee's sac fly. Casey with his 43rd RBI. And that is a balk or no?
Timeout.
Jeff Kellogg saying that he was given timeout. Brad Mills was ready to roar.
He was ready to go.
He has been anxious for anything. As, Eric Cooper called the balk at first base, but he did not see the time called by Jeff Kellogg. Speaking of ready to roar, Mike Quade was ejected again today for the Cubs after a call went against him in that 5th inning. You can't blame them. These managers, teams that are struggling, having a hard time moving it forward.
Hey, he looked like he had a gripe too. I mean, that slide by Matt Holliday into second base looked like, first of all, he never slid. He didn't get down until he almost was on top of the shortstop, and then the question was he able to touch second base, and that opened up that 8-run 5th inning for St. Louis.
Fielder takes off. Betancourt fouls it away. Cardinals ended up with a 13-5 win. Kyle Loesch was the winner despite giving up 5 runs in the first. Albert Pujols homered again. His 2000 career hit yesterday. He hit his 24th home run today. David Freese homered as well for the Cardinals.
The Cubs have lost 5 straight.
After their longest winning streak of the year when they swept Houston 3 in a row, coming into that series with the Brewers. Brewers swept the Cubs, trying to put the 2nd win on the board against the Astros in as many nights. There goes Fielder. Betancourt will foul it away, and Prince is getting in his wind sprints between 1st and 2nd. Speaking of big innings, the New York Yankees tonight, home against Baltimore, scored 12 runs in the 1st inning.
That's a good start.
And then scored 3 more in the 2nd. And added 1 more in the 3rd. They're up 16-1 right now in the 4th.
After winning 8-3 in the first game, they had a doubleheader today.
Yankees are 20 games over 500. Surprised they have not been more effective in the trade rumors. Betancourt singles. Fielder on his way to 3rd, and no throw from Carlos Lee. Good base running there by Prince. 1st and 3rd as Betancourt singles to left.
Well, running on the pitch, Prince Fielder figuring that Carlos Lee, with not a very good throwing arm, is not going to be able to throw him out. Playing deep out there in left field and doesn't even make an effort. Prince in there easily. Another good at bat for Betancourt. Starting to work the count a lot more these days.
Yeah, Betancourt doing it at the plate, and he made a couple of terrific plays last night as well. It's a good sign. The Brewers have been waiting on Betancourt to show some of that form he showed in Kansas City last year offensively, and he's done a nice job. Well, Betancourt certainly known for his offense, but it was his defense that dropped a few jaws last night, especially late. Betancourt, check out this play on Carlos Lee.
Throw right on the money.
Good as you can do it.
He made all 3 outs in the 9th inning last night. Tied a major league record.
Shared by many others.
Thousands.
Jonathan Lucroy with a chance to add to the lead. The Brewers do have a run in here in the 5th. 1st and 3rd with 2 gone. Lucroy singled off Happ in the 4th. And there's a base hit. That's going to get down in the corner. Fielder scores easily. Now can Betancourt go all the way around? He'll try it. Here comes a throw, and Betancourt is in there. Lucroy runs into the out. The inning is over. But 2 runs are in on the Lucroy double. 3 runs in the 5th. And the Brewers have a 5-0 lead. FLW is presented by American TV, American Furniture, Electronics, and Appliances. Bring it home. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. Back at Miller Park, the Brewers putting 3 runs on the board, all unearned runs. But Milwaukee now with a 5-0 lead. Rock, take us through this play with Lucroy.
I'll tell you what, Lucroy hit that ball hard, and you knew Eddie Cedar was going to send Betancourt. He was about a step away from third base once Carlos Lee had that baseball. He drew the throw, did Lucroy. You saw the cutoff man. He saw Lucroy go to third base. That would prompted him to cut it off and get the out. Had he let it go, it might have been close at home plate.
So Lucroy with a double and 2 RBIs. He has 2 hits tonight. Ron Renneke has seen his team post another double-digit hit total already. 10 hits last night for Milwaukee, already with 5 runs and 10 hits tonight. And Gallardo staked to a big lead as he goes to work. Jose Altuve, the free-swinging second baseman for the Astros, pinch hitting.
3 unearned runs the Brewers able to post here in the 5th inning. Well, Jay Happ victimized by some bad defense. The same situation last night for the Astros.
Jay Happ goes 5 innings, 10 hits allowed, 5 runs, 2 earned. No walks and 6 strikeouts. Gallardo ahead 1-2. And back up the middle, hits Gallardo's foot. Betancourt makes a play. The throw is low, and that bounces into the seats. And Altuve will head to second base. We'll see if Gallardo is all right.
Guy can hit. Altuve down in the minor leagues. He had almost 390 in 2 levels of the Astros organization, led all of Major League Baseball, actually all of professional baseball in batting average. There's a slider up in the zone, and although he's not a very big guy, he makes pretty good contact. Would have been close had Prince been able to pick it, but I think he would have been safe anyway.
It's going to be a hit, an infield hit, and an error, getting Altuve to second base. Runner at second, nobody out. Top of the order, Michael Bourne at the plate. Gallardo gets one in on his hands. 0-2 is the count.
Fastball has been good. He's thrown a lot of them. And he hung the slider to Altuve, and he banged it right off his foot. Seems the only pitches that the Astros have been able to center on are the off-speed pitches tonight.
Boy, look at that hammer. What a beautiful pitch. Gallardo strikes out Michael Bourne. Big curveball got him. 6th strikeout for Gallardo.
Yeah, the yellow hammer going straight down, and Bourne way out in front. Look at him pull the front shoulder, and Bourne's had a tough time making contact in this series.
1 gone, runner at second. Bourne unable to advance the runner. And here's Angel Sanchez now. Sanchez committed the error in the 5th. And that one is going to sneak through a base hit. Here comes Altuve. The throw from Morgan cut off. And a run scores. So Sanchez delivers with his 2nd hit. It's an RBI single. And the Astros are on the board. It's 5-1 Milwaukee.
The Astros going right back through the middle is a fastball, and we talked about that inside out stroke for Sanchez, and able to get it just out of the reach of Felipe Lopez. Prince Fielder does the right thing, cutting it off, keeping the double play alive.
Astros are finally on the board. 17 2/3 scoreless for Brewer pitching. Takes you back to the Cubs series on Thursday. Brewers pitched a shutout last night, a 4-hitter. Jason Bourgeois with a runner at first and 1 away. Phillies are out in front of the Pirates tonight, 5-2. That game's in the 6th inning. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. Hitting 5th tonight for Charlie Manuel. Phillies lost a lot of production when Jason Worth signed with the Washington Nationals. And Charlie Manuel has been seeking that right-handed bat, and he finally gets it at the trade deadline, acquiring Hunter Pence. Bouncing ball. Lopez to second. And Betancourt able to get a tag on Sanchez. Looked like Betancourt missed the bag with his foot.
Yeah, he was by the bag. Little floater from Lopez. And it's all about timing. It'll take a while. But Betancourt screaming across that bag, expecting a little quicker of a throw. And because of that, he had to make the tag. Watch him. He's by the bag. Never got to the bag and able to tag him out.
There was no chance the Brewers were going to be able to turn 2 on Bourgeois. He's very fast. And a heads-up move from Betancourt to get the out. Lopez's nickname is Flip. Betancourt says a little faster Flip.
Flip it faster, Flip.
Right off the end of the bat. And Lopez goes to the bag, getting over. So Gallardo gives up a run but gets through the 6th. 5-1 Milwaukee. Sixth inning, the Brewers have the lead over the Astros. That run is unearned against Gallardo in the 6th inning. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Feldko called to the pen. Rocket is Aniri Rodriguez in relief of Jay Happ.
And one of 3 Rodriguez is on the Astros. Wandy Rodriguez and Nuri Rodriguez, and they also have Fernando Rodriguez. Nuri and Fernando in the bullpen. Wandy, a starting pitcher for the Astros, making his 28th appearance. And Nuri Rodriguez, and a .495 earned run average.
Good analysis on the Rodriguez's. How many Rodriguez's does it take to change a light bulb? Here is Gallardo to lead him off in the 6th inning. And a breaking ball from Aniri Rodriguez for strike 1. Giovanni doubled and scored in the 3rd. Brewers got 3 unearned runs in the 5th. There have been 4 unearned runs in this game. Astros have committed 2 errors. The Brewers 1. That run against Gallardo an error because the base runner Altuve advanced to second on the infield hit and then scored on the single, which he most certainly would not have had he been at first.
So 4 of the 6 runs that were scored tonight are unearned.
That's right. They still count.
Yeah.
Mr. Gallardo got a tip in mind for Giovanni. Full count to Gallardo. Another great crowd tonight. They just announced the attendance. Over 44,000. Giovanni pops it foul. 44,306. The official attendance. That is sellout number 16. Gallardo, one of the best hitting pitchers in the league. Got under this one. Matt Downs is under it, and he's got it for out number 1. Subway Trivia, who holds the MLB record for the longest consecutive save streak. Axford at 27. Eric Gagne, 84. Incredible. Might never be broken.
That is something else, isn't it?
02 to 04. That was when he was pitching for the Dodgers. Had a Cy Young Award in the middle of that.
84 in a row.
Gagne is retired, living in Arizona, playing golf on every day that ends in Y.
That's about as that's almost impossible to be that consistent, huh?
Incredible dominance from Eric Gagne. Creative crowd tonight.
Festive crowd.
That's it. A German fest going on.
Everybody in a good mood. Why not? Why wouldn't you be in a good mood? Great weather here in Milwaukee. Teams playing well.
He's even in a good mood. Inwardly. Corey Hart, speaking of good moods, why wouldn't he be? 3 hits today and a home run to start it in the first inning. Put the Brewers on the board quickly tonight. His 4th career leadoff homer. Had a single in the 3rd, had a single in the 4th.
Yeah, every pitch since that leadoff home run has been in on Corey. At least every pitch for strikes. All of a sudden, Corey's starting to look in there a little bit and hitting it hard.
Two balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And Hart lifts it in the air to Bourgeois and right. First time he has been retired tonight. 2 gone in the inning. So far, the best hat of the night is the rock hat. Not only does the guy have a pail, but he's got a rock on top of the pail, and then he's got a picture of Bill Schroeder,
right?
Also known as the Rock.
A rock on a rock.
A rock in a hard place.
It's actually not a real rock, though. It's, one of those fake rocks you hide keys under.
Yeah, you put it in your landscaping.
Right.
Yeah. There it is. Oh, watch out! Watch your head, ma'am. That's a rock he's wearing.
It's not well balanced. He's having a tough time keeping it on his head. And needs a chin strap.
And as the night goes on, he's finding it much more difficult to keep it straight.
Right. His equilibrium is in question.
I got a rock on my head. That's funny. Look at me. I got a rock on my head. I wonder if there's a Tony Plush pail out there somewhere.
It's got to be.
I mean, that's almost a no-brainer, right? Nope. Morgan strikes out, inning over in the 6th. And we go to the 7th. A festive Miller Park. 5-1 Brew Crew. Brought to you by Hyundai. Corey Hart, a home run to start it in the 1st. But the Brewers on the board. Nigel Morgan off a left-handed pitcher delivered an RBI. Casey McGee with a sacrifice fly. That was part of a 3-run 5th inning. Later in that inning, Lucroy with a 2-spot with a double. And a 5-1 Milwaukee lead, doing the damage offensively and getting pitching from Giovanni Gallardo, who at this point has given up just 1 run. An unearned run. Gallardo quickly ahead in the count on Chris Johnson, 0-2. Gallardo struck out Johnson in the 2nd. And Giovanni with 6 Ks at this point. He's given up 4 hits to the Astros. He has hit the 100 pitch mark as he works here in the 7th inning.
It could be his last inning. Remember his last time out, 121 pitches.
Interesting, the 2nd inning was a 3-up, 3-down inning, but the most pitches he's thrown in an inning tonight. 1-2 on Johnson. Big bouncer. Fielder with a nice play. Gallardo right there. Out number 1. Well done. Prince Fielder showing the good hands. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers will wrap up the series with the Astros tomorrow afternoon, 12:30. We're back on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Monday starts a series with the Cardinals here at Miller Park. That'll be a showdown set. A 3-game series with St. Louis Monday night. Brewers will see the same Astros on the next road trip. Starts in Houston and then ends in St. Louis.
It looks like the Brewers are going to see Chris Carpenter, Jaime Garcia, who got hit up pretty good his last time out, and Edwin Jackson.
Jackson was the winner last night, his first start as a Cardinal. Coming over in the trade, 3-way deal. Jackson was traded from the White Sox to the Blue Jays, quickly turned around, traded to the Cardinals for Colby Rasmus. Hey, we want to wish special happy birthday wishes to Melania Pape, celebrating her 100th birthday tonight, watching this game. Living in Sauk City. She says she's 100, and there's a few of the older gals who are big Brewers fans that are watching with her.
Good for her.
So happy birthday, Melania.
Yeah, that one got Luke right on the wrist. Been a rough day back there for Luke Roy.
2 in the mask, 1 on the wrist.
Those hurt. Those hurt a lot.
Casey McGee with a nice hop and a good throw for out number 2. Now, Rock, how would you like to win a Paul Molitor autographed baseball bat?
I would.
You can watch the Sports Fanatics every Sunday morning, 10:30, on CBS 58 to find out how.
Although I already have one. But I'd like to have another.
You have a nice collection in the Schroeder estate. Which house do you have your autograph collection in of all the Schroeder homes?
Yeah, you jest. The main compound.
Uh-huh. All you got to do is ask Bill Schroeder, oh, whatever state he's in, are you a resident? And he says, yes. Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Discount on your groceries? Oh, and 2 on Wallace. And he misses upstairs. Gallardo looking strong tonight. 110 pitches for Giovanni. Continuing a trend of outstanding starts by the Brewer rotation. Got him. Gallardo with a strikeout. Perhaps his last hitter. If so, he finishes with a bang. 7 Ks. Yeah, Braun and Fielder the hit when we come back. Stretch time at Miller Park. 5-1 Milwaukee.
The 5-1 lead over the Astros, and for every strikeout recorded at Miller Park this season, Foley and Lardner will make a donation to the Hunger Task Force. Join us in thanking them for their support in striking out hunger.
5-1 our score. The Brewers lead the Astros as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. And LaTroy Hawkins getting ready for the 8th. Giovanni Gallardo through 7, giving up just 1 unearned run tonight. And 7 strikeouts for Gallardo. Only 4 hits allowed. For Yo, he's in line for his 12th win of the season. And all smiles.
And continues to drop that earned run average. Where that earned run average started in April. Remember April, when April ended, his ERA was around 6. And he's continued to get it down into the mid 3s now. He started out a little bit over 3.8. 3.89 to be exact, and then we'll go down again tonight.
A win tonight for Gallardo will bring him within a game of Roy Halladay's league leading win total. Halladay's won 13. Here's Braun to lead off, and a strike from Rodriguez. Ryan is 0 for 3 tonight. He did score a run. He reached on an error. All 3 of those runs the Brewers scored in the 5th unearned. Phillies have Cliff Lee on the mound tonight, and the Phillies lead the Pirates 6-2. That game's in the bottom of the 7th. Hunter Pence in the lineup tonight. His first game as a Philly. Got a huge ovation when he was announced. He is 0 for 4 at the plate tonight. I'm interested to see how Hunter Pence performs in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's a lot different intensity level in Philadelphia right now than there is in Houston. A lot of pressure on the kid going over there in his 5th season.
And Braun strikes out. 1 gone in the 7th. Rodriguez has retired 4 in a row.
Gets that one by Braun on the inside corner. Pretty good movement from Rodriguez. A bit of a late tail to it.
Told you about the Cardinals winning earlier today against the Cubs. St. Louis trailing 5-0 after the first inning, scored 13 unanswered. As Fielder will watch this one go a mile. Wow, Prince Fielder. High off the railing on the Miller Lite sign. That's one of the longest home runs you will ever see at Miller Park. Number 24 for Fielder.
I think he's back. What do you think?
His 3rd hit of the night.
That was a blast. Wow. 3 hits, and check this one out. Get the tape measures out on this one. Up off of the wrought iron on the Clemens clock. Right at the Miller Lite sign. Are you forgetting any sponsors? That's where it went, though. Check it out.
See if we can track it.
Yeah. Bingo.
Wow, man, that was a bomb for Fielder. Can't wait to get the readout on that one. That's certainly up in the dew deck if he pulls it a shade. And that's got a chance, if it's a little to the left, it's got a chance to go entirely out of the stadium.
Right. That was something.
Even impressive by Fielder standards. Nigel Morgan with his Usain Bolt arrow that sends that one out of here. Wow, that was very impressive. 24th homer for Fielder.
If you ask Prince, did you get all that one? He better say yes.
I think Rick Kranich just asked him that very question. As Lopez strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Hey, every Friday is a $13 Fair Friday. Get 1 Terrace Reserve ticket to any Friday Brewers game and 1 general admission ticket to the 2011 Wisconsin State Fair presented by U.S. Cellular. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/state fair.
Now, the longest home run ever hit at Miller Park, 480 feet. Russell Branyan did that back in 04. He did it against Greg Maddux.
Yep,
Fielder has the second longest, I beg your pardon, Rock, at 475. That's got a chance.
I remember that one that Branyan hit. It didn't seem like it was much further than that one Prince just got. It's hard to hit a ball any further than that up in there. That is a monumental blast. Goodness.
Off the support beam and officially marked at 475 feet as the inning ends. Prince Fielder wows this sellout crowd. A boomer. Home run number 24 for Prince. 6-1 Milwaukee. To his reputation, a bomb for Fielder in the deep right, measured at 475 feet. Fielder wows the crowd here. Don't forget Fantasy Camp, Brewers.com/fantasy camp. On the web, you can find out all the information. That also includes Kangaroo Court, which is perhaps the most entertaining part of Fantasy Camp. And unlikely you'll hit him as far as Prince Fielder after 3 swings, but you can certainly try hard.
Yep, Kangaroo Court. You have the happy hour where you get the Q&A with the coaches, and you pump them with enough Miller Lite, they'll tell you anything.
Here is Marco Estrada now for the Brewers, and with a 6-1 lead, I'm sure Ron Renicky would love Estrada to maybe finish this one out tonight.
It's been a while for these middle relievers from Milwaukee. The starting rotation has been so good. These guys need some work. You know, Estrada, Dillard. Estrada been throwing the baseball pretty well. 4.50 ERA in his 30th game here tonight. Been a week for Marco in San Francisco. And retired the only 2 batters that he faced. The strand 2 inherited runners in the 8th.
Humberto Quintero for the Astros to start the 8th inning. Well, that home run by Fielder announced at 475 feet. So Prince now has 3 of the 4 longest home runs in Miller Park history. And until Jim Thome hit one at Target Field recently, Fielder had the longest of the year. It came against the Astros. He hit one 486 feet at Minute Maid Park. Prince is much more than a power hitter. He's flirting with a 300 average, but this is one of the great power strokes in the game.
Yeah, that ball got small awfully quick. end of the night.
Had some heat still on it when it hit that iron post.
He's got that good backspin, and anytime you see Prince with that big high finish, flip of the bat, he's got that good backspin. It just keeps going. Brewers media relations team right on it. Got that baseball.
Ken Spendler, the only athlete of the group, able to make that catch. As Quintero lifts one in the air, left center, long run, that is going to fall. Morgan will take it on a hop, and he'll hold Quintero to a single. Another leadoff base runner for Houston. And now we're going to have a major league debut. As we discussed yesterday, Hunter Pence traded away. The Astros with a prospect in Double-A, J.D. Martinez. Here he is in the big leagues. And about ready to get his first major league at bat.
Yep, and put his name in the book, the Baseball Encyclopedia. He is officially a major leaguer. It's always a big moment for every player. You get that first major league at bat.
Martinez was in Double-A Corpus Christi in the Texas League. It's a team that is owned by Nolan Ryan. That's a great look. Who's batting? Unknown. Not for long. That one's hit well. Center field. Nigel Morgan on the run. He can't get it. It is one hopped off the wall. Quintero around third. He'll try to score. He will score. No longer an unknown. J.D. Martinez with an RBI double in his first major league at bat.
Well, it's been a while for Marco, having a tough time with his command and getting a lot of home plate with his fastball. It's been a week. Well, he'll get that baseball back and put it on the trophy shelf once he gets one. A big kid with a good short swing to the baseball and over Nigel's head in center field. A hit that he will never forget.
6-2. The Astros are within 4. Top of the order coming up with a runner at second. Here's Michael Bourne. And Francisco Rodriguez begins to get loose. There's a strike. 1-1 on Bourne. Had a hit in the first inning against Gallardo. Gallardo then struck him out twice. Giovanni went 7 tonight. Gave up just 1 run. It was unearned. 2 balls and a strike. So the Astros getting a glimpse at their future after trading away Hunter Pence. J.D. Martinez.
You might see that kid in the lineup tomorrow.
A changeup missed. 3 balls and a strike. Bourne, the National League leader in steals. And a 300 hitter at this point of the season, hitting .304. Was an all-star last year. That one's off the end of the bat. And it's Corey Hart. Martinez is going to tag at second. He'll stop. There is out number 1.
And a good changeup by Marco Estrada to get the out. Had Bourne out in front. And one more base runner. It's going to be K-Rod time here at Miller Park. Get that tying run on deck. I don't think Ron Renicky is going to mess around too much.
Rick Kranitz, pitching coach, and Ron Renicky going through the lineup. Well, it's a good problem to have, but it is certainly something that Kranitz and Renicky deal with when your starting pitchers are so good and going deep into games. The one area that struggles is middle relief because they don't get much experience. They don't get many innings. Especially for a guy like Estrada, who's a field pitcher anyway, a changeup guy. Give him a chance to find his release point again.
Tim Dillard out in that bullpen hasn't been in the game since the Brewers were in Arizona.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Angel Sanchez has 2 hits tonight. There's Dillard. Might see Dillard in the 9th. And if Estrada can get through this 8th. Don't get me wrong, managers will take this scenario every time, looking for ways to get work for his middle relief and his long relievers. But a 6-2 ball game. 4-run Brewer lead in the 8th. Good fastball. 2-2 the count remains.
Yeah, because when on the flip side of that, when your long relievers are being worked too much, that's never a good sign. It means your rotation is not getting much of anything accomplished, and that's far from the case with the Brewers starting rotation. You find opportunities for Hawkins and Saito even when your starting rotation has been as good as the Brewers rotation.
There's a good changeup, and a pop-up foul territory. Fielder right there for it. Out number 2. So after 2 hits to start the inning, Estrada has come back and retired the next 2 hitters.
All of a sudden getting his off-speed pitches over for strikes. It only took him a couple of batters to get that feel out there in the mound for the changeup.
Two gone, and it's Jason Bourgeois. Cincinnati has a 7-2 lead over the Giants tonight. That one goes to the 7th inning. Mike Leake pitching well. Madison Bumgarner roughed up. Red scored 5 in the first against the Giants and Bumgarner tonight. Cincinnati was hoping to take advantage of this long homestand they're in. And then they got swept in a 4-game series against the Mets. Two and nothing on Bourgeois. There's a strike. Brewers started the day with a 1.5 game lead on the Cardinals. St. Louis has already won. Pirates were 2.5 back. Pirates are losing in Philadelphia. And it's now 6-3 in the top of the 8th. Phillies lead. Strike called right on the corner.
Yep, Bourgeois probably looking for a changeup or something off speed. 2-0, and Bourgeois has watched 2 fastballs go by.
2-2. Got a runner at second, Martinez. And a changeup missed. Full count. So you figure this is Estrada's last hitter. With Carlos Lee coming up next. Crowd trying to help him out. In the air to left. Braun is over, and he'll run it down, and Estrada dials it in, gives up just 1 run on 2 hits. 6-2 Milwaukee. We go to the bottom of the 8th. visitors. Corey Hart, a home run in the first inning to lead the game off offensively for Milwaukee. Yovani Gallardo, a big story tonight. 7 strong. He strikes out 7, gives up 1 run. It was unearned. Prince Fielder, the longest home run of the year here at Miller Park. 475 feet off the support beam out in deep right center field. Fielder with his 24th homer of the year now, 75 runs batted in, 3 hits for Prince. Final line for Gallardo, who is in line for his 12th win, which would put him 1 behind league leader Roy Halladay. And the Brewers 3 defensive outs away from a victory.
111 pitches for Gallardo on the heels of a 121 pitch performance his last time out against the Giants. Well, Lopez has been a good story for the Astros this year. Good earned run average, having a pretty good road trip.
On the first pitch, Betancourt bounces out. Great pickup by Wallace on a shin burger from Chris Johnson. Out number 1.
Nothing's routine for this Astros infield tonight. Actually, Wilton Lopez, a 125 earned run average on the road this year. Hasn't pitched in a while.
So you're saying he likes the per diem?
He likes the per diem, and he particularly likes not having to pitch at that short porch as he has at Minute Maid Park.
Cameron Lowe preparing for the 9th, perhaps. No, Ron Renicky sits down with Rick Kranitz and Stan Kyles, the bullpen coach, and they map out every scenario in a game. Who's going to pitch in a close game? Who's going to pitch in a mid-range lead? Who pitches in a blowout? And you start to look at who's pitched when, guys who need work. And it's all systematic. When a pitcher runs into trouble, that's when things can get a little haywire.
Man, it's all laid out, and you don't have to sit there and scramble and figure out what you want to do. It's already, written down. It's all designed. It's all laid out. You just have to go by what you talked about earlier in the day.
It's amazing the scenarios, and Ron Renicky is an incredible preparation manager as he, for every game, and the coaches are obviously with him, but they go through all these scenarios. They get here early to work it out. As a matter of fact, they do it after the game. They have a quick meeting after every game to discuss the next day. So there's really, as the players are enjoying victories, the coaches are in there grinding out the next day already. And who's going to pitch, who needs to be talked to, who needs ground balls the next day. All these scenarios that come up. And maybe you get to 10% of all that you prepared for. But it's all these decisions that are laid out that helps you maneuver through a ball game.
Yeah, when you have to make the decision on the fly in a game, it's too late. The game has gone by you quickly. It's very fast down in that dugout.
Lucroy back up the middle. That's going to sneak through. And a 3-hit day for Jonathan Lucroy. Drove in a couple of runs in the 5th inning with a double. Now 3 for 4.
Yeah, really having a nice year. He really has. I mean, not just offensively, but behind home plate, the starting pitchers and relievers are starting to really get comfortable with Lucroy calling a game, and has really improved his throwing and blocking.
Mark Kotze will come off the bench. He'll hit for Estrada. Jerry Hairston Jr. his first day in the big leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers after being traded from the Nationals. Interested to see if Hairston would play tonight. Tough travel day for Hairston. Might want to just give him a day off if at all possible.
A day game after a night game. That could be one of half a dozen places he could play tomorrow.
That's right. And again, we talk about the preparation of Ron Renicky and what he's looking at, but Hairston's a guy you insert as a pinch hitter when you know he's probably going to stay in the game, possible double switch, because you have so much flexibility with him where you can put him defensively. And once he's in the game, you can move him all over the place.
because in that man right there you have an outfielder and an infielder, and very good at both spots.
He plays short, third, second. I guess his most natural position is second base. That's what he came up as a young pro in the minor leagues and then on into the big leagues.
22 games this year with the Nationals in left field, 9 in center.
It was a great pickup. Kind of went under the radar, but not here in Milwaukee it didn't. Kate is 6 for 22 as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .273 in this role. Driven in 3. And it's 3 and 2. A good take from Kate. Now Tim Dillard starting to get loose. Runner goes, Luke Croy, and a swing and a foul from Kate. Brewers trying to stay out of a possible double play. There's a Gallardo fan. He's got a much smaller hat. Lucroy goes. Kate, a little tapper over to first. And Lopez will make the play for the out. Second out of the inning. Lucroy ends up at second base. Now Corey Hart. A 3-hit game today. Take it back to the first. A home run. Opposite field blast for Hart, his 4th career leadoff homer. Had a hit in the 3rd inning, he singled, and then in the 4th he singled as well.
Offense starting to heat up a little bit. You know, the Brewers with 10 hits in yesterday's ball game.
And a chance at a 4-hit game. Are you into the trade rumors, Rock?
Oh yeah.
There's a trade rumor that Ubaldo Jimenez is headed to the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
Bouncing ball in the hole, it's short, and a long throw. Hart will beat it out. An infield hit. Hit number 4 of the game for Corey Hart. That's his 3rd 4-hit game of his career and his 1st of the season.
Well, the only chance the Astros had to get this out was if Johnson continued and tried to make that play, but he kind of gave up on it. Not that he would have been able to make it, but if the third baseman can't make that play, there's no chance for Sanchez. Going away from first base, and too long of a throw, couldn't get much on it.
Two gone, runners at the corners for Nyjer Morgan. And a bouncer over to Wallace. That'll do it. So the inning ends in the 8th. And last call for the Houston Astros. Who's it going to be, Dillard or Lowe? Looks like Lowe. Well, it's been a great night at the ballpark tonight. The Brewers and the Astros. Milwaukee leading 6-2, trying to win their 5th straight and win their 6th straight at home, going back to the last series they played here at Miller Park. Cameron Lowe trying to get the final 3 outs to do it. He pitched last night with a scoreless inning, a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th, and a 4-run lead. Lowe on the mound to face Carlos Lee to start the 9th inning. A Brewers win tonight with 3 more outs. It'll be the 2nd time this year they have posted 10 over in the win-loss total. They were 38-28 on June 12th. A win tonight, they go to 59-49.
Another one.
And Lucroy has been in the crosshairs all night.
One of those nights for the Brewers catcher. You just shake your head. Hey, you got 3 hits tonight. It's not so bad.
He's been hit in the mask 4 times. He has 3 base hits tonight.
And the wrist once. I've been counting.
You still feel the pain.
I'm going to put some ice on when I get home.
0-2 the count. The longest winning streak of the year for Milwaukee is 6. That was done in late May. Brewers swept the Rockies and the Nationals here at Miller Park for that 6-game winning streak. Little bouncer, and Lopez got to hurry, and he just does get Lee. The shift was on. Lopez clips Lee right at the end for out number 1.
I tell you, Carlos getting down that line in pretty good shape, sniffing out a base hit. A little dribbler, Carlos Lee busting it out of the box. That's a long throw for a second baseman and gets him by half a step.
And now you see why Felipe Lopez can play shortstop as well if you need him to, with that strong throwing arm. 1 gone. Chris Johnson at the plate. Johnson is hitless tonight. He's 0 for 3 and a big swing and a miss. Low. It's a good breaking ball going.
Yeah, he's had a good curveball his last 3 times out. Now the curveball is what got the Brewers out of that mess against the Cubs. Bases loaded, nobody out. Cameron well able to get out of that mess with no runs because of the curveball.
You know, we were talking about that trade rumor that Ubaldo Jimenez is headed to Cleveland. And you think about it, how bad the Indians were last year and how quickly they've turned into a contender.
Yeah.
That's how fast it can happen. The Indians made a number of trades, traded away Cy Young Award winners, Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia. And they've been able to rebuild quickly. I don't think anybody expected them to be in the hunt this late in the season. The Indians are 2.5 back of the Tigers in the Central. And remember that the Rockies general manager Dan O'Dowd has a long history with the Cleveland Indians, so it makes sense that they would be trade partners. Only a rumor, but been a lot of reports saying that Ubaldo is headed to the Tribe.
Everybody wondering when the Colorado Rockies would make their decision whether it be a team that's going to part with some of their veteran guys, some of their top players, to get some prospects. It looks like perhaps it's begun.
2-2 the count, and misses a little low and away. Full count to Chris Johnson. Trade deadline is tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central. Slow roller, tough play. McGee on the run, low throw, dug out by Fielder. 2 gone in the inning. Good play on both ends.
Casey not able to get much on the throw, but got it there, and Prince with a good dig on a short hop. A relatively easy pick for Prince, and just able to get Johnson at first base.
So the Astros down to their last out. Brewers trying to win their 5th consecutive game and stay a game and a half up on the Cardinals in the Central. The Brewers with a win will go to 38-14 in their home ballpark. Incredible home winning percentage, the best in baseball. Matt Downs takes a ball and Lowe falls behind 2-0. Back at it tomorrow, Fox Sports Wisconsin. 12:30 is airtime. First pitch just after 1 o'clock Central. Chris Narveson against Brett Myers. (3-0). Narveson is 7-6, coming off a win his last time out. That was the game that Lowe came in, got out of that bases loaded, nobody out situation against the Cubs. The Brewers will have Greinke, Markham, and Wolf lined up against Carpenter, Garcia, and Edwin Jackson in the Cardinal series. Full count. A sellout crowd tonight, over 44,000. 16th sellout of the year. And they're ready to go home happy. Missed inside, ball 4. The Astros still alive here in the 9th. And here comes Brett Wallace. That springs the Brewer bullpen back into action.
Well, Lowe tried to come back from 3-0 and just missed the inside corner.
So here is Wallace. 4-run lead to work with. Wallace is hitless, 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. John Axford beginning to get loose. Could be Lowe's last hitter. Runner takes off. Lowe deals ball 2.
Well, one more base runner becomes a save situation for Axford. Tying one would then be on the on-deck circle.
Greinke would love nothing more than to have Lowe finish this one off. So 2-0. Lowe got the first 2 out quickly. Walk downs and now behind on Wallace. There's a strike.
I'll tell you, Lowe's got some good movement on that fastball, almost too much. He's not able to keep it in the strike zone. That ball had a lot of downward tilt to it.
Oh, another one. 2-2. A lot of movement. Using all that 6'8" frame. Again, the Astros down to their last strike. Here it comes. And a bouncer foul. Wallace just hanging in there. A little higher in the zone than Lowe wanted it. Brewers came off that road trip. 5-6 on the 11-game trip. Just a half game back. Took over the lead from the Cardinals, and now trying to stay a game and a half up heading into Sunday's play. On the ground, here's Lopez over to Prince, and there's your ball game. The Brewers win it 5 in a row for Milwaukee. Cameron Lowe finishes it off at a 6-2 victory. Giovanni Gallardo now 12-7 in rock. The Brewers remain a game and a half up on the St. Louis Cardinals.
And now 15 straight starts, 3 runs or less, and it's good to see the Brewers offense get going. 23 hits combined in the last 2 games. That's a good sign for the offense.
That'll do it from Miller Park tonight. Our final score: Milwaukee 6, Houston 2. Brewers baseball returns tomorrow afternoon to Fox Sports Wisconsin, when the Brewers take on the Astros. Game coverage begins at 12:30 for Brewers Live. Coming up next on WMLW, it's the final out for Bill Schroeder. Michael Vetter in the truck with Michael Odino. I'm Brian Anderson. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And the Brewers make it a clean sweep of the Astros.